guys, this is Lauren with Verivest, and today we are meeting with Dr. Van Williams and Michael Zajas from ProActive Funds. Welcome. We're really excited to chat with you today.
Good morning. Nice to chat with you also.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, perfect. So let's just get started. I'd love to hear how you ended up where you are today and kind of give us a little bit of your origin story.
Yes, thank you. So I began in 1998, and I started in a single family space, and quickly realized that units is where it's at. So started out with a triplex in Berkeley, California, and from there went to a 5-unit and quickly started buying, selling, flipping, holding properties of various sizes in a residential space and also in the commercial space with the 5-unit. And then later on, I began working for a superintendent of the Church of God in Christ, Superintendent Smith Levias, who had a large portfolio of properties. And so working for him, he has a small family office of his siblings in properties that he assigned me to manage, to do some buying, selling, rehabbing, renovating, managing, a lot of active asset managing. What else can I tell you? So from there, I really enjoyed working with people that we were able to make an impact. So we work with various social service agencies. One was building futures with women and children. We were able to place a lot of, women and families who would have otherwise been homeless, even relocate some confidential relocation for women facing, dangerous, abusive situations. And so from there, I decided that I would begin a fund. And so the idea actually came to me probably about 5 years before I actually implemented it, because at the time I was, working for him, managing his portfolio, his family's portfolio, as well as I have my own real estate projects, which, consistently for the last 23, I want to say April, this month makes 23 years of having my own projects, buying, selling, managing, holding, and active management. And so from there I said, well, you know what, a fund would allow me to scale, to go into neighborhoods and create a lot of impact and opportunities. And at the time, I wasn't familiar with opportunity zones. They came into play in the last few years. And so what I realized in looking back was that, wow, I've been doing social impact all along. So I decided to focus on an ESG-focused social impact fund.
That's great. Yeah, you definitely have quite a diverse background, which is really cool to hear about. So
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear how you source deal flow and kind of what your acquisition strategy is.
Okay, so we source deal flow through previous investors that we've dealt with, a lot of off-market deals, neighborhoods that we go in and we invest. We quite often get a lot of other properties that are offered to us that we can buy for cash and close quickly. After we do all of our due diligence, we have a process to get all of that done quickly. And, if title works out, if the property works out, it passes muster, then we move forward with it. And so, some properties will have some deferred maintenance. Other properties will be semi-stabilized, and we go in to make certain that they're stabilized. And we actually start our process and our acquisition strategy once we are in escrow. So as soon as we get the property under contract, we actively go to work to make sure that this will be a successful deal for our investors, and that is one that they'll be comfortable with, and that we believe will produce, some really great cash flow. So part of our acquisition strategy is we buy properties well below replacement costs, and our focus is on the value add, and our focus is also on creating safe, affordable, and decent housing. So we keep that in mind when we go to buy a property. If I had to pick two factors that are most important, it's that one, we buy for cash flow. Two, we buy for impact. So if we can't create some meaningful impact in the community, then we'll pass. We've had some really, really awesome deals. However, we've had to pass on them because they just, weren't a fit as far as impact goes, the social impact. So social impact component is very important, as well as being able to produce for our investors.
That's great. What would you say, kind of going off of that, was your most impactful deal that you've done, or that you felt as though was your favorite that you've done?
I'd say for the ProActive funds, our favorite in our income fund is the mobile home park
Right.
in Orangeburg, South Carolina. It's a 39-acre mobile home park, 187 spaces. It was a heavy, heavy value add. We came into a semi-stabilized property. We had to repair relationships with the local magistrate, with the utility companies, with the county, with litter control, which is code enforcement here.
Right.
It was a real challenge because, like here, they don't have Craigslist. So we're in between Columbia and Charleston. And so we came in, and so we just had to start from scratch, get a lot of stuff done, repair roads, get the property up and running efficiently. We had to get rid of the bad element. We had to unfortunately do several evictions, probably about 70 or 75.
Right.
There was drug dealing, there was prostitution, there were over 100 sheriff calls per year at this property, a lot of domestic violence, wild dogs, trash, you name it.
Yeah.
And we just came in, rolled up our sleeves. And this particular property is my favorite because of all the nurturing that we had to do. So I actually, when I'm here in Orangeburg, I actually moved into the mobile home park, rolled up my sleeves, got to work. And my colleague ran the portfolio in the Midwest. Our managing director, Michael Zajas, he's been, absolutely awesome in coordinating a lot of stuff. And, we've been able to get a lot of things done. So, for example, this is our favorite property.
Yeah.
So, for example, I came in a double wide that was 1,400 square feet, was renting for $425 a month. And people will come in and complain about that price. That was October 2018. Now, present day, April 1st, 2021. No April Fools here. That same property is now $1,100 per month.
Wow.
So the property had a really bad name, Banachet. It's at 100 Banachet Circle. The property had a terrible name for over 20 years. And by the grace of God, we were able to come in and we were able to get this property repositioned and get the bad marks off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you've kind of touched on a few areas that you operate in, but what would you say are the key markets that you tend to work in, and why do you choose those markets?
Okay, so and one other thing about the Orangeburg property I forgot is that we were able to create a lot of home ownership here. So a lot of single mothers, this kind of a poverty area. We were able to take 70 to 80% of our renters and turn those people into homeowners. So we don't even rent homes here anymore. It's more, rent to own home ownership model.
Right.
Now, as far as the markets, we're in Memphis, Tennessee, Michigan, Illinois, and Ohio. We like those markets because they have properties that are high cash flowing. That's one of the things we buy for is the cash flow for our investors. Some appreciation. However, we're a non-leveraged fund, so we buy for cash. So most of the properties that we buy, we book a profit on the purchase. So we come into a property and we buy it for, say, 60% of the market value. So we'll buy a property that's like properties. We'll come in and buy a property that's $1 million. We'll get it for probably about $650, $675. Maybe if needed, invest about $70,000, $80,000. A lot of our market properties that we get are already stabilized. So it just may be some deferred maintenance, and quite often It's the active management piece that's not present that causes us to, be able to buy it for such a discount.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you explain a little bit kind of your investment philosophy and how do you determine whether a deal is worth doing?
Our philosophy is, for the most part, it's a fiduciary type philosophy.
Hmm.
Our investors come first, period.
Hmm.
So if it's a deal that will work for our investors, or if any of, most of my investors have my cell phone number, they can call me. And if it's a deal, if it's not a deal that I can talk to them about, then it doesn't work for us.
Hmm.
So um, our investment philosophy is to keep our investors first, and social impact is a part of that. So it kind of comes second.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love how the social impact really weighs heavy in your group. It's really great to hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and so how do you generate value once you've made an investment? What's kind of your risk mitigation strategy?
Okay, so our primary risk mitigation strategy is the best A-rated insurers.
Okay.
And we also have another program that we use. It's a TPP program, and it's called a Tenant Protection Program.
Hmm.
So what that means is this: if we have a 100-unit building that we have insured, and say, for example, 10 people decide they don't want to pay rent, or 20 people, or whatever number, the policy kicks in and protects the income for the investor. So we mitigate risk through the best insurance possible, because we're non-leveraged. So like in the pandemic last year, our rent collection was 100%. There were some operators, and we're not being disparaging here or anything.
Hmm.
There were several operators who either paused their preferred returns to investors for 3 months to 7 or 8 months, or either just suspended dividends or payments, period. We did not.
Right. Right. And lastly, I'd love to just kind of hear who your key players involved are that allow you to execute your acquisition and asset management strategy.
Okay. So we have, our number one favorite is NES Financial.
Uh-huh.
That is our third party fund administrator.
Okay.
Administration that allows for complete transparency. Investors get a portal in real time. They have 130 billion assets under management. They're a JTC group based in London, traded on the FTSE exchange. Michael Zajas is our managing director.
Yeah.
Cora Rogers is a portfolio manager, active manager. She's on it from sun up to sundown. She's been in this space for over 45 years. One of our key agents in the Midwest is Tamara Radke, who's an awesome, broker. She, brings us the best deals, best off-market deals. We are engaging with a firm for Tulsa, Oklahoma. DRG Group is another group that we'll be working very closely with that does active asset management, and local property managers. So once we go in, we identify a property and the property meets our specs. We go in, we do what we need to do, and we only work with active asset managers who are going to be active. And so we even use like quote unquote secret shopper type people to make certain that, that they're on the job, and managing assets appropriately and as efficiently as possible.
Right.
Oh, and we choose areas that have a lot of growth opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So, we do rent to some Section 8. We will use Section 8. We use the VASH programs, which is a veterans version of Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
We just bought a small portfolio of properties in Harvey, Illinois. They have a new Amazon center, 12 blocks long, 5 stories high, in Markham, Illinois, that opens in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
This is April. I think they open mid-May, early June.
Yeah.
They'll be hiring 10,000 people to work there.
Mm-hmm.
And the portfolio that we're involved in the Midwest is not even a mile. It's like a half a mile from this center.
Okay.
So we like to invest in areas that have potential for growth, social impact, and sustainability.
Yeah. That's great. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both so much for chatting with us today. It was really great to hear more about ProActive Funds, and we really look forward to working together.
Okay, and if you have a minute, my managing director, Michael, will, he can close us out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I met Dr. Van maybe 8 months ago and was really attracted to him as a person, all that he's done, his passion for real estate and also for raising the standard in neighborhoods. And he's been doing this so long as an operator that he intuitively knows when he looks at buildings if it's a good property or not. We do use different metrics. We'll compare cap rates, comparables in the market. We do a lot with yield on cost to know how much to put into a property, into a unit. And then because of some of these other insurance products that he's aware of, we can create a very safe investment, not using debt when we acquire, but just using cash and then refinancing or selling the properties. But our intention is to hold so we can have a longer impact in the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
This mobile home park in South Carolina that Dr. Van has turned around, he's done a phenomenal job. And it's at a point where it's just a ton of value from this point on. So we've got a winning team. One of our challenges is that we're going from entrepreneurs to executives as we're taking on more investors. And part of my role has been to help Dr. Van with sort of mid-office, back-office functions between what he's doing, finding deals and being the tip of the spear, turning properties around and relating to our investors and our fund admin.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. It's really been great to chat with you guys. I loved hearing about the property and project that you have going on in South Carolina, but kind of all over the U.S. And yeah, we really look forward to working together and hearing more about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Yeah, of course.
Nice to meet you.
Well, thank you guys.